Speaker, under the watch of Honorable Ato Forson, he is bringing bold, systematic, investment-driven, and transformational to the economy. It addresses the root causes of agriculture underperformance, builds sustainable value chains.
In the 2025 budget, they told us about what they call the Teacher Dabre Initiative. In 2026, Mr. Speaker, we've not found that initiative, and they did nothing about it in 2025. They told us that they were doing 100 million coders program. In that particular budget, they failed to deliver. This year, they are repeating that promise. Mr. Speaker, they told us that they are doing what they call e-Okada. Mr. Speaker, you remember? Okada, hey! That promise was found in their budget. They did nothing about it. This year, they have said nothing about it in their budget. Mr. Speaker, they are saying that they were going to do what we call Agriculture for Economic Transformation Program with an allocation of 1.5 billion. Mr. Speaker, they did nothing about that. This year, they have even reduced it to 800 million. This is the record, and this is what you want us to talk to. Mr. Speaker, I will continue. The Ejubawura program, they allocated $100 million to it for 10,000 jobs to be supported. They did nothing about that, and they allocated additional 100 million again for this year. They are telling us that they want to spend some 207 million to replace this economy. Mr. Speaker, this government seems to know where the mouth is, but they don't know where the pocket is. Saving. Knowing where your pocket is called saving. Knowing where your mouth is consumption. And we want this government to reorient itself to knowing where the pocket is and know where the mouth is. Because their own data shows that they spend more on consumption and they spend less on goods and services. Mr. Speaker, you are increasing the wages and salaries of people for them to go to sit in the office and do nothing because you've not provided them with goods and services. That is the verdict of your budget. Mr. Speaker, something they said they were not going to budget for, and that 24-hour economy is part of the normal operation, and we shouldn't expect a budget line for 24-hour economy. They told us before this house. This year, they are allocating $110 million for that.
Let me assure you that it is not the idea of government to take public money and invest in something called 24-hour economy. So if you are waiting for us to bring you a document in Parliament say we are taking so much money to invest in 24-hour economy, you won't see it.
Almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, Mommy.
The second coming. Into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again?
Now I understand the whole delay. Troll from Kaswa, dear. Why wouldn't he be late? Obey you later.
Of course.
Star 712 hash, star 712 hash. You go be the luckiest. Copy from Georgia be luckiest. From not the block, she be luckiest. Me and you go be luckiest. No matter why you're luckiest. Everybody go be the luckiest.
That's Kwame!
Senya God apple boom. If you put it toye, so would the coming of the Son of Man be.
Hey!
Is that his car?
Ha! Even now, your shadow the way designer.
I use my own mouth to reject him. Oh, this is my mouth. Look at that.
Kwame, my son. Now, tell me the truth. How How did this all happen?
Oh, mommy, a simple delation. Mr. Goodluck no check me way.
Yeah,
man.
Easy cry. Or dial star 712 hash.
The devil is a liar.
He picked his ticket and entered his lucky 5-digit number.
I'm his baby.
Oh, how romantic!
And he followed the prompt, yes. And then boom, confirmation test.
One quick, pick 5 numbers for me, okay? I'm feeling like 7.
Dial star 712 hash. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompt and let destiny handle the
You see how they love you now?
Yo, do you have family payment seminar? Before December, may release a motivational album. Patapa, my super.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
Chia winning Nara, me ding at the baby dapa, me dear strong cocran bremo. Now that what we animal with the air, Japan, me de bremo. And no, any summer spices. Summer spices in here, and we wild membreo, various flavors, Ubenya a yako, Ubenya Nemchi, we do good jollof woman and we get there, Ubenya the good quam, we do for you, hot knuckle pibito, na Emma with Gianni, and yet day. When you mean ya, young con your cocotin now for Eka.
Down your communication, you all enjoy Uduba, that Samu spices. One in the essence, no time. I think you get it, Samu spices in a Sabi, Daddy so say. Samu spices, Munsam.
Samu spices, Yama chicken.
Samu spices. In Sanaka in Kitwa, measure 10 grams. Your chicken, spaghetti, garlic and ginger, stew, can jollof, and the flavors of Bebre.
Samu spices, yes, Saka.
FDIJ Jadien Kratoyatum.
Tagged along the pristine shores of Gomoafete, Black Star Royal Resorts rises as a symbol of rebirth, connection, and possibility. Ghana's premier 5-star oceanfront destination. Imagine owning a place in Ghana's coastline that never loses value. A place that pays you every single day, even while you sleep. A place your children and grandchildren will thank you for creating a legacy for them. At Black Star Royal Resort, we make that dream real, offering secure ownership, guaranteed passive income, and a legacy that truly outlives you. Our luxury villas and suites are turnkey, fully furnished, and professionally managed. Join me at the Mikasa Home and Property Fair 2025 on the 5th and 6th of December 2025 at the Icon Event Center, East Legon, from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Don't miss this exclusive event-only discount. Take a step, claim your unit, and build a legacy for your family.
Oh, Jose, and I media Samasio. Canny Pano, Nasana, Michiana, what me. A drain I didn't quano, Kingdom Garlic Bitters. No, more benefit. Me benefit wine. Also, got told dear.
Abrewa, the smama, Abrente, Mishuve. One antique crown our bread. No Kingdom Garlic Bitters, and any capsules, Nanya, what ya bribia.
Kingdom Garlic Bitters, and the capsules. Assembly, a devil when Amawani I say, send your name, wife, complain one personal. Kingdom Ginseng Power Capsules, and tea. Say, see, I'm password.
Kingdom Ginseng Power Capsules. Emeni Chienya Sumdiebefi, Abrebia. Obebia o de poa hauno. Edroba kupa wihiane tremendous capsules. Tremendous capsules. Esiesie uma uye obesima. Edno yi ubenya bi obebia yeton robia. Kingdom Herbal. No challenger.
Kwame and his uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, Mommy.
The second coming. Into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again?
Now I understand the whole delay. Troll from Kaswa. Why wouldn't he be late? Or be late?
Of course.
Star 712 hash, star 712 hash. You go be the luckiest. Copy from Georgia be luckiest. From not the block, she be luckiest. Me and you go be luckiest. No bag of Everybody go beat that luckiest.
That's Kwame.
Send your God the apple boom. If you put it toye, so would the coming of the son of man be. Is that his car?
Ha! Even now, your shadow the way designer.
I use my own mouth to reject him. Oh, this is my mouth. Look at that.
Kwame, my son. Now, tell me the truth. How did this all happen?
Oh, mommy, simple direction. Mr. Good Luck no check me way.
Yeah, man. Easy car. Or dial star 712 hash.
The devil is a liar.
He picked his ticket and entered his lucky 5-digit number.
I'm his birthday.
Oh, how romantic.
And he followed the prompt. Yes. And then boom, confirmation test.
One quick, pick 5 numbers for me, okay? I'm feeling like 7.
Dial star 712 hash. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompt and let destiny handle the
You see how they love you now?
Yo, do you have family payment seminar? Before December, may release a motivational album. Patapa, my super.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
Hello, my friends. My name is Calkit Toothpaste. Wow. I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush.
Makes your teeth stronger, chicky whiter, chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Calkits. Happy smile.
West Africa's soil yields global treasures. Cocoa, cashew, shea, and cotton. They power industries across the world. Yet for our region, the greatest value still slips away, exported raw, taking with it jobs, industries, and the promise of shared prosperity. The real question is no longer what we produce, but who captures the final reward. True prosperity lies in the value we add right here at home. That's why the 4th edition of the EBIT President's Roundtable will gather the architects of Africa's prosperity and Africa's transformation to answer one defining question. How do we finance the journey from the farm to the port? Join Dr. George Ejikum Donko and some leading experts as EBIT leads a high-level dialogue to unlock financing, empower local industries, and turn West Africa's raw potential into industrial power. Be part of the conversation redefining our economic future, live on Metro TV, DSTV Channel 277, and EBIT platforms on November 24, 2025 at 11 a.m. EBIT President's Roundtable 2025. From the farm to the port, financing the value chains of West Africa's cash crops. My name is Anita Erskine, and it will be an honor to host you.
In the 2025 budget, they told us about what they call the Teacher Dabre Initiative. In 2026, Mr. Speaker, we've not found that initiative, and they did nothing about it in 2025. They told us that they were doing 100 million coders program. In that particular budget, they failed to deliver. This year, they are repeating that promise. Mr. Speaker, they told us that they are doing what they call e-Okada. Mr. Speaker, you remember? Okada, hey! That promise was found in their budget. They did nothing about it. This year, they have said nothing about it in their budget. Mr. Speaker, they are saying that they were going to do what we call Agriculture for Economic Transformation Program with an allocation of 1.5 billion. Mr. Speaker, they did nothing about that. This year, they have even reduced it to 800 million. This is the record, and this is what you want us to talk to. Mr. Speaker, I will continue. The Ejumawura program, they allocated $100 million to it for 10,000 jobs to be supported. They did nothing about that, and they allocated additional 100 million again for this year. They are telling us that they want to spend some 207 million to replace this economy. Mr. Speaker, this government seems to know where the map is, but they don't know where the pocket is. Saving. Knowing where your pocket is called saving. Knowing where your map is consumption. And we want this government to reorient itself to know where the pocket is and know where the map is. Because their own data shows that they spend more on consumption and they spend less on goods and services. Mr. Speaker, you are increasing the wages and salaries of people for them to go to sit in the office and do nothing because you've not provided them with goods and services. That is the verdict of your budget. Mr. Speaker, something they said they were not going to budget for, and that 24-hour economy is part of the normal operation, and we shouldn't expect a budget line for 24-hour economy. They told us before this house. This year, they are allocating $110 million for that. Let me assure you.
And welcome to this edition of Good Evening Ghana. It's always a pleasure to come your way. Tonight we have an interview with a member of parliament for Damongo, who is also the ranking member of Foreign Affairs, Samuel Abu Jinapor, the former minister for lands and also former deputy chief of staff, is now the hottest politician in our parliament. Yesterday, he gave a fiery presentation that's gone viral on social media. Abu Jinapor is alleging that the budget of Kesela 247 is allocating $1.2 billion, yes, billion dollars to purchase two presidential jets for the Ghana Air Force and for the politicians. Well, he also made the point that whilst government is able to do that, government says that they cannot make payments for certain things which he considers essential. Tonight, he's in the studio to help us understand what he did in Parliament. But just to give you a snapshot of what actually happened in Parliament, if you have been too busy to see it, this is Abu Jinapor speaking on the floor of the House.
In spite of all these problems, the government, in spite of all these problems, the government wants to spend $1.2 billion United States dollars to purchase presidential debts. To purchase presidential jets, 1.2 billion Ghana cedis to purchase presidential debt. And the figure, I'm talking about 1.2 billion United States dollars to purchase presidential debt. When you cannot pay nurses, when you cannot pay teachers, when you cannot buy farm produce, when you cannot recruit workers.
Mr. Speaker, he said that in this budget, 1.2 billion has been allocated to buy a presidential jet. Mr. Speaker, he should just show us which line item contained in the budget has an allocation or a proposal of $1.2 billion for the purchase of a presidential jet.
Mr. Speaker, mention the page so that everybody can be with you.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much.
Mr. Speaker, page 136 of the budget. Mr. Speaker, specifically paragraphs 1091 and 1092. And I quote, Mr. Speaker, and I quote, Mr. Speaker, this is what the Finance Minister said to this House. Mr. Speaker, the Ghana Air Force will be retooled. Beginning 2026, the government of Ghana will begin the procurement processes for the acquisition of 4 modern helicopters, 1 long range and 1 medium range aircrafts. Mr. Speaker, these aircrafts are expected to be delivered in 4 years' time if the procurement processes are completed in 2026. And then, Mr. Speaker, I then refer the House to page 184. Page 184 of the budget statement. Mr. Speaker, under item 34 titled Ministry of Defense, Mr. Speaker, where it is captured retooling of the Air Force, where the CAPEX, capital expenditure, is quoted by 2.5 billion cedis. Mr. Speaker, if we multiply that by 4 years, which the Finance Minister has indicated in page 136, if we multiply that by 4 years, which the Finance Minister has multiplied in the page 184, Mr. Speaker, every year they will provide for it. Mr. Speaker, let me conclude that the statement I made in my contribution to the debate of the budget is on firm grounds, is on terra firma. They are beginning this year and they are going to continue for 4 years, and this year $2.5 billion has been programmed. If you multiply it by 4, it's $1.2 billion to buy 1 ship, to buy 4 helicopters, and to buy 2 presidential jets. Mr. Speaker, the facts and the data are unimpeachable and unequivocal. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Now, if you look at page 184, and then you come under item 34, 1, 2, 3, retooling of Air Force. That's the first figure I want to quote. The figure there is 2.6 billion Ghana cedis. Now, note it, write it down. And then let's move on to page 190. Which is a commitment for 2027. Now, that is a commitment for 2027. Under the same description, retooling of the Air Force, and that is 3.5 billion Ghana cedis. Now, let's move on. Page 916. Under the same description, retooling of the Air Force, and that is 3.3 billion as against the year 2028. Now, let's move on. So you can come with me to page 202. Under the same description, retooling of the Air Force, it comes up to some 3.5 billion Ghana cedis. Now, why in a hurry? If you put all the 4 together, it comes up to 4 years. 4 years. It's captured in the budget. It comes up to 12.9 billion Ghana cedis. You can do a simple arithmetic, and you are paid to convert it into dollars. A simple arithmetic. Divide that figure by 10. Some 1.29 million, right?
You are dividing it by what? You are dividing it by what?
$1.29 billion.
You are dividing it by what?
Now you see.
Hello, Honorable Minority Chief, you are dividing it by what?
Can I conclude? I want to conclude. Our majority leader, clearly, leader, your Boku mathematics is suspect.
Majority leader, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, we are confident, we are proud, we are happy that we have the capacity, and in the next 4 years, we will retool the Ghana Air Force and we will invest $1.2 billion United States dollars in the Air Force. We will. In the Air Force. We will. For 4 years.
forces of the New Patriotic Party forcing the majority leader to confirm at the end of that feisty time and a debate that indeed government is investing 1.2 billion United States dollars over a 4-year period to retool the Ghana Armed Forces. Yeah, they say that when the drum is there, you don't beat the side. Abu Jina points in the studio, will be coming to answer all your questions. You can start sending your questions ahead on Good Evening Ghana Official. He's here to answer the questions. Whilst we talk about the military, let me do 2 quick stories before the former minister comes in. The defense headquarters, as I talked about, beautiful defense headquarters, spearheaded by John Kufuor's administration. At the time, Ado Kufuor was Minister for Defense. And that's how they built this sterling look. I think it's one of the best defense headquarters in Africa. I've seen those internet that says the best presidential office in Africa and then the best defense headquarters. I think this was ranked as one of the highest. Anyway, this is what we said on Tuesday about the military recruitment. This is what we said. Quality, elegance. And the message that the armed forces always communicate to the general public is that of excellence, dignity, elegance. That must reflect in everything. Surely, that does not reflect in the way we recruit our people. This is 2025. And that's why I like Sadiq Adams. Look at this photograph. Put this photograph up, let them see it. If we are recruiting, and the armed forces themselves, the military police people standing there, are they happy about this? If we are recruiting people in the armed forces, should we treat them like they are criminals? They should come and sit on the floor. I mean, why do we do that? When we are recruiting lawyers, do we tell them to come and sit on the floor like that? Look at lawyers being recruited. I like the way you put the photograph together. Please, put it on the screen, let them see it. Now, viewers, look on the left side of the screen. The right side of your screen. On the right side of your screen, they are recruiting lawyers. New lawyers that are going to start law school. Look at the way they present them. On the left side of your screen, they are recruiting soldiers. Look at the way they present them. What kind of society are we? And the armed forces themselves, are you happy with this? The Ghana Bar Association and the General Legal Council will never sit down and say that lawyers that are being recruited should on the floor. Because the lawyers came from Abuja, or where did they come from? We have to show the dignity of work. It doesn't matter whether it is lawyer, whether it is doctor, whether it's a carpenter, it's a police officer, it's a soldier. That is the mark of a modern society, and we better get there quickly. We are too late. Let us hurry up and get there. Tomorrow, they shouldn't let the soldiers sit on the floor like this. It is wrong. Very, very wrong. It's inhuman. You can't do that. And then you are making the people feel so bad so that when they come and they are soldiers, they are angry and they are meting it out to people. They will mete it out to all kinds of people. They will be violent because this is what you're asking them to do. They want to be soldier. Some of those people sitting down, they are holding an SSC certificate that is capable of going to study anything at the university. But for all you know, they don't have 1,300 cedis to pay the university forms. They don't have it. They don't have 800 cedis. They don't have it. 2,000 cedis. They don't have it. 1,600. They don't have it. So, Eno Abena, whose child, who has a 6th child, who has gone to T.I. Ahmadiyya Secondary School, he got 8 A's in T.I. Ahmadiyya Secondary School. He wants to go to KNUST to study engineering. Eno Mansa says, where am I going to take the money from? Every day I earn 30 cedis, and that's what I used to feed you people. Your father died 100 years ago, sometime years ago. And so the young man who is holding a certificate that says 8 A's, he cannot go to KNUST. Nobody will help him. He sees the advert. He goes to an uncle, borrows 200 cedis, buys the forms. He wants to be soldier. They put him on the floor like this. I'm sad and happy at the same time on this matter because does it have to take all that? Look at the beautiful pictures from yesterday. This was done yesterday. So why it was done today? Why couldn't this have been done last week? What kind of... They didn't add any infrastructure. They didn't add any money. They didn't go and buy anything. It is just somebody's capacity to plan. A leader, capacity to plan. That's all. That's all we needed. We needed media to shout about it. Thankfully, Angel Radio, Obama talked about it. We talked about it. Other people talked about it. Media brings the attention to it. And now somebody is sitting up. What was the person doing? It is this disrespect for people that makes the politics bad. Look at this. Look at this. This is what happened. Please put the photographs directly on the TV. Let them see. And move it one upside down. Look at this one. Look at them. Please go to the next photograph and the next and the next. Look, they gave them tents and they gave them seats. These chairs, they were always in the armed forces. I'm sure the chairs were parked in Burma Hall, collecting dust. And then they get people's children, Ghanaians, to come and sit on the floor. Once we spoke about this, they were able to do this. Well, sometimes they say media gets results. Look at this beautiful thing. Look at this, giving them some sense of dignity. Sit on a chair under a tent. Why can't we do this? Why are our leaders sometimes like that? Why can't we do this? Why? Show them the video. Show them the video and then let's wrap it up on here. Show them the video. Play the video.
We drop and one side, shoulder, one side, shoulder, one side.
You saw that, one side. They put a DJ there. They did more than we asked for. The Ghana Armed Forces put a DJ there to entertain the people who are recruits, potential recruits coming for the job. That's the way to go. That is the way to go. But we will still not gloss over the fact that whoever was responsible for 6 young women dying should be punished. This thing Broja Jemfi is trying to cover up, we will not allow him to cover up. It's a gross dereliction of duty of a politician, Deputy Minister of Defense. And his response is that those who died, we will get them to take military positions from somebody in their family. I'm happy that Dr. Kwesi Enin is dealing with that. He's very angry about that. I'm happy that even Oliver Vamaho is angry with that. That's not the way to solve the problem. That's a cover-up. The minister should be called out. That's a cover-up. He has to go and tell Parliament who and whom were responsible for that gross dereliction of duty and a global embarrassment to the Ghana Armed Forces and the Republic of Ghana. Someone must be held responsible. Broja Jemfi, if he is not going to hold himself responsible, he must tell Parliament whose responsibility it was. In other countries, he will just pencil a resignation and go. And go and come back another day. But he's there saying that, oh, the people who died, we have gone to see their family. This is what Senor Jose was talking about, small thinking. Every time, give people money, give them money, give them money, give them money. And then we're happy with it, just give them money. No, we need to have a system that works so that we don't need to give people money. We need to build a system that works so we don't need to give people money. Look at this beautiful photograph. Look at all these computers. Did they go and buy them since last week? No, it was there. Somebody had to think, to understand that let's respect human dignity, and that thinking wasn't coming. I'm being signaled that my time is right now. Okay, so that's the military story. Thank you very much, Ghana Armed Forces. I think you've done. No, we are going to Shraj. Not here yet. We're going to Shraj, please. Let's do Shraj very quickly. Then Shraj. Yes, a small conversation on the Commission for Human Rights and Administrative Justice, one of the most important institutions of the Republic. This is Mr. Whittal, who is the Shraj boss. There's been some disquiet among a few people who are connected with Shraj. That's the office of Shraj, which is also the home of Ghana's first parliament. Let's move on to see, there's fire going on there. So the conversation is that Mr. Whittal has renovated his office, despite the fact that Shraj is underfunded. The commissioner procured expensive furniture for his office, as they allege, and residents in 2024, and deliberately split the procurement into smaller lots to bypass the entity tender committee's mandatory review. You know what happens, viewers, is that entity tender committees have a review. So if it's beyond 100 cities, it goes to the entity tender committee, and there are some people who want to circumvent that. If they do, they just have to do the billing less than 90 cedis and less than 90 cedis. So they do 280 cedis, that's 160 cedis. It is 160 cedis, which typically should have gone beyond them to the entity tender, but because it's below a certain threshold and they do multiples of it, that's what is being accused of having been done. Why we are interested in this story is that there was once upon a time Loretta Lamte, against whom allegations were made, and she got successfully impeached and left. You know, so people are saying that Whittal, very, very nice gentleman, is doing a lot more. The procurement occurred despite Shraj's regional and district office lacking. Then there's another one. The commissioner submitted falsified documents, an allegation though, submitted falsified documents to the Ministry of Finance claiming delivery of 2 Mitsubishi L200 pickups, 1 Mercedes-Benz E35 saloon car. Based on this, the Ministry of Finance released the money. The allegation here is that Mr. Whittle is alleged to have dishonestly represented to the Ministry of Finance that some cars have already come in for the benefits of Siraj. According to the reports, they allege that these cars had never come in at all, that they have never come in, and that Mr. Whittle then compelled the Ministry of Finance to pay the money, something like that. There's another one which mimics Loretta's own quite a bit. And it says the Mitsubishi vehicles were delivered much later, and the Mercedes-Benz has also been delivered. Then there is, it says since the commissioner took office, he continues to make decisions unilaterally. The people he works with, they are not happy with him. They say that he makes decisions unilaterally. They don't have a board as such. The Act did not create a board, but they've established a convention where the commissioner works with other directors in Siraj, and he has been a director before. He was outside Accra, so he understands that better than anyone else. According to the story, Mr. Whittle is not doing that. We are going to be talking to Mr. Whittle. We're going to be interviewing him about some of these things. This is the most important one. It says the commissioner's foreign travel in 2024 cost Siraj 1 million and some more, covering per diem and airfare. But in contrast, 16 regions and 181 district offices received only 2 million from a total of 16 million budget for goods and services. Many regional and district directors had to use personal funds for basic needs like stationery, and yet the commissioner, they say, was misusing the money. They employ about 1,000 people, and he said that the staff is demoralized. Then the commissioner also received 195 quinquennial leave expenses, per diem airfare, and a UK short course, and records showed that he did not undertake the trip. This is a very serious one, if it's true. This is very serious. Mr. Whittle, the people are saying that you took money, 197,000 cedis, that you were traveling to attend a course in UK, which you are entitled to. They call it quinquennial leave. And they say that you didn't travel. You took the money from the state that you are traveling for a short course and etc. And you didn't do it. And you kept the money. You didn't return it to chest. Do you remember Justice Tokonu a little bit? It's getting very serious. And we hope that our public officials will comply with some of these things. But we are going to be talking to Mr. Whittle. So if you know him, tell him that we'll be calling him and to put some of these allegations before him. Now, the commissioner was suspended by President Mahama following the establishment of a prima facie case against her by the Chief Justice. Mr. Nyama, who was a member of parliament for Ado-Ejiri and Odompre, had petitioned the president to initiate processes to remove the Siraj boss for spending 180,000 on rent. Similar renovation issue. So you remember here, Mahama sacked Siraj boss Loretta Lamte after the process. This was in 2015. President Mahama is present again. President Mahama actually appointed Mr. Whittle. I don't remember whether, no, Loretta Lamte was appointed by Professor Mills. But President Mahama appointed Whittle in the dying hours of his first presidency in January 6th or so, 2017. And Mr. Whittle is now in trouble for having taken money and he didn't travel. We're going to do a lot more on that story. We'll be talking to him. Okay, I think we are ready for the minister at this stage now. But let me tell you a story. Please, you can prepare the minister, get the mic on him, and he can come in. Now, let me go to that story. You see, I've been talking about, this one is for Manasseh. How is he doing, though? How is Manasseh doing? How is he doing? This is for Manasseh and Jospon again. We've been talking about this Manasseh and Jospon matter. A video popped up on social media with the Nigerian president telling a story. I want Manasseh to listen to the story of Chief Obasanjo. And when we talk about these things and we say that Nigeria is not like that, and that we are working together with Nigeria and growing together, if we are not careful and we don't stem the tide in this pull him down situation, destroy his business, pull him down. 2014, Manasseh wanted Zoom Lion's business pulled down. 2014. Assuming Manasseh had succeeded, since 2014 till now, look at the capacity with which Zoom Lion has expanded. Look at the capacity. Let me show you the video now. Listen to General Obasanjo. This is him talking. Have a look at it.
I was worried about the situation of cement in Nigeria. And I woke up at 4 a.m. I couldn't sleep. Then I waited till 5 a.m. I phoned Aliko Dangote. Aliko was in Lagos, I was in Abuja. And I woke him up. I said, Aliko, what are you doing? He said, what should a gentleman be doing at 5 a.m.? He should be sleeping. I said, well, I have no apology for waking you up. Can you see me at 7 a.m.? He said, Mr. President, it's bad enough that you wake me up at 5 a.m., but for me to see you at 7 a.m., when I'm in Lagos and you are in Abuja, and the first flight is 7 a.m., it is impossible. I said, what time can you see me? He said, 9 a.m. And he came at 9 a.m. When he came, simple question. I said, Aliko, why are you importing cement and not producing cement? And he said to me, do you want an honest answer? I said, if I call you here, I want an honest answer. That's why I've called you. He said, because it's more profitable for me to import cement and sell than for me to produce cement, which is an honest answer. Then I asked him the second question. I said, what can I do to make you produce cement? He said again, you want an honest answer? I said, yes. He said, make it as profitable for me to produce cement as it is profitable for me to import cement and sell. Again, I haven't got where I was going or he was leading me. I said, how do I do that? He said, tie my importation of cement with my production of cement. My head got it. I said, you can go. I called my Minister for Industry, who also came from the private sector. I said, look, I've had this discussion with Aliko. Come and go and work it out. So Aliko then planned to produce 5 million tons of cement a year. Since we started producing cement in 1956 up to 2003, we've never produced 5 million tons. So when Aliko made that, the people in the ministry said, he's telling a lie. He was making it up. I said, all right, let's see how his lie will work. So I put 2 people in Aliko's construction site, and they are reporting to me every day. The day Aliko, the contractor, did not work, they will phone and tell me, and I will immediately phone Aliko. So one day Aliko came to me and said, Mr. President, I'm getting worried about you. I said, what have I done? He said, you know about this cement project more than myself. And it is not a government project. I'm getting worried about you. I say, hey, my brother Aliko, this is a Nigerian project. So anything Nigeria is a government project. Not only did Aliko succeed in the first 5 million, he succeeded in the second 5 million. He succeeded in the third 5 million. I started taking him out to other countries in Nigeria, in Africa. I took him to Tanzania. I took him to Senegal. That's how Aliko made it. Partnership between the private and the public. Partnership between leadership at every level.
Please, go and show it to Manasseh Azuri. This is how a country is built. It's not built by, hey, he's stealing money, pull him down, take him out. It's not built. You see what Obasanjo said? Aliko Dangote today is the richest man in Africa. That's the story. It was a partnership between the office of the president. He could have, Nigeria is 100 million people. Should he call all the 100 million people? Are we all gifted in the same way? We are all not gifted in the same way. So Zoom Lion is gifted in a way that I am not gifted. He knows how to, he's a serial entrepreneur. So if the president is looking for a partner in that area, he will call him. The president is looking for a partner in another area, he will call another person. Then you have the man that says, hey, he has stolen money. Today they are on SML, tomorrow KGL. I told him the other day, I'm challenging him, bring one investigation he has done about India, Lebanese, Italian company. He won't get one, he doesn't do it. Everyday Ghanaian. That's what is killing our country. You see Aliko Dangote? He's the richest man in Africa. This is the story. The president called him and said, Aliko, come here. Aliko was already making business. So he was importing cement, he was fine. He said, no, stop that. I want you to do it for Ghana, for Nigeria. As for us, if we had allowed Manasseh, and God didn't help Zoomlion 2014, Manasseh said Zoomlion should be collapsed. By now he has collapsed. RLG, they did that. They've collapsed him. He's gone. He's gone. All the businesses from beginning to end, you start now, they pull you down. Once you are Ghanaian, they always find somebody who pay somebody to pay somebody to pay somebody to pay somebody. Oh, why have they bought me watching mattresses photograph? That's another good example. But many of the young generation who are watching me don't know him. He was a famous businessman. They did that to him. You see, we don't want to remind people of things, so it's okay. So you leave. This is Sian, Tata Brewe. Same thing. They did it to him. They pulled him down. A-Life, they pulled him down. And we are still doing it. Give me the Zoom Lion picture from what country is he in? Now he's in what? He's in Brazil. Is it? Namibia. This is Namibia. The Namibia has also taken on Zoom Lion. Now listen to what the Namibia minister says. Ghana is lucky to have JustCom group of companies, and I'm excited to work with them. The Namibia minister, that's what he's saying. Ghana is lucky. Manasseh thinks Ghana is not lucky. Zoom Lion is a crime that is going on. He has to be removed. So, my brother Manasseh, you have to take your time. They help Ghana. The people who are doing the business, who are not Ghanaians, you can go after them. It doesn't mean that a Ghanaian company cannot do wrong. No, he can do plenty wrong. He may do wrong, yes. But if he does wrong in the terms of he hasn't paid his taxes, collect the taxes. You have to close down the company so that the 5,000 people work there, they should go home. And then you celebrate, go and collect award in Norway. And they always like, award is in Denmark, it's in Norway, it's in somewhere. They go and collect and Manasseh Azuri, then he will talk like he's crying. We went through a lot doing this investigation. You have bastardized the future of 5,000 people and the future of a country. Then you collect award and you're happy with it. Okay, I won't say much. Let's go back to Parliament. What did Abu Jinapo say? Have a look.
In spite of all these problems, the government, in spite of all these problems, the government wants to spend 1.2 billion United States dollars to purchase presidential debts. 1.2 billion Ghana cedis to purchase presidential debt. And the figure, I'm talking about 1.2 billion United States dollars to purchase presidential debt. When you cannot pay nurses, when you cannot pay teachers, when you cannot buy farm produce, when you cannot recruit workers.
Mr. Speaker, he said that in this budget, 1.2 billion has been allocated to buy a presidential jet. Mr. Speaker.
Welcome, Minister. You are on fire.
Paul. Good to be with you.
Good to see you. Long time. You
haven't been here in a while.
Yeah, you haven't been. Yeah, we missed you. And I'm sure the people in Damango and Tamale are watching, especially Damango.
Oh, yes. Good evening to your cherished viewers, and especially good evening to my beloved people in Damango.
Why were you so agitated? Okay, hold it. Let me take text messages from Anziba, and then I'll come to you on that question. So, Anziba, what are people saying so far?
Thank you very much, Paul. Coming from Master Planner Jr., he says, policy analyst. Good evening, Apostle Paul. Your analysis and delivery always makes some of us are weak just to learn. This show is full of lectures and I can't afford to miss it. God bless you and your team. Greetings to Dr. Pupu Ajiman. Coming from Akwesi Bediako, he says, we don't love ourselves enough for unbalanced systems. We all contribute to the tax base, yet we have grade A schools and grade B schools. What does it take to make all schools grade A? Society respects lawyers more than teachers. Coming from Augustine, he says, must we always sacrifice the blood of our people before we start thinking? Emmanuel Amponsa says, indeed, we have a mighty minority. Keep the fire burning, gallant honorable members. Pedro Nim says, Ayarga eventually confirmed the figure put out by Abu Jinapo. So why was he challenging initially? Pal Kofi says, common teacher pay, this government can't pay. Yes, we have money for presidential jets. This nation is a joke. Romancy says the 1.2 billion is for 4 years and it can be changed in the next year's budget. Christian AJ says, please be informed that the 2023 teacher trainees are still demanding their financial clearance after meeting all the necessary recruitment requirements. And lastly, coming from Prophet Edison, he says, please, why should they buy planes or jets when the youth are jobless? Edison from Ho. Over to you, Paul.
Okay, welcome back. Producer, I'm just seeing a story that there's been a fire at COP30 climate summit in Brazil triggered by swift evacuation. Please investigate that. Let's get the latest of it. Minister, you have attended COP30 before?
Yes.
Okay, I hear there's fire there for these years. But I saw the Minister of Lands back in Parliament.
Yes, yes. Yeah, anyway, he was at a COP, actually.
Let's come back to your matter. Presidential jet. The majority leader challenged you to show it. Eventually, you were able to show it. But what is the truth about it? What's the reality?
Well, thank you very much, Paul. I mean, first of all, I think there were 3 matters which were on the floor of Parliament yesterday. The first one was the scope of this programmed procurement. And then the second one was the amount of money involved. And of course, the third one was whether or not this should be the priority of the government of Ghana. And the first matter, which has to do with the scope of the procurement, if you look at page 136 of the page 136, paragraph 1091 to 1092, the budget statement spells out clearly what the government intends to do. And if you allow me, I'll quote it. I mean, the Minister of Finance says, Mr. Speaker, the Ghana Air Force will be retooled beginning 2026. The government of Ghana will begin the procurement processes for the acquisition of 4 modern helicopters, 1 long-range and 1 medium-range aircraft. These are the presidential jets. 1 long-range presidential jet, in other words, a presidential jet which can travel, say, from Accra to Washington without being refueled, and 1 medium-range presidential jet. And then it goes on and on.
So the one we have now, is it medium?
Medium.
Okay.
And then it goes on and on.
So was this the first time we are acquiring a long range?
This is the first time. Okay. So that matter was settled because that is copiously set out in the statement the Minister for Finance delivered to the House. Then the second issue was the quantum, how much was to be spent. And I mean, this is where I had done the calculation because I looked at the budget statement in detail and I'd done the calculation. And it had come to 1.2 billion United States dollars. If you convert it to Ghana cedis, it was a little above 13 billion Ghana cedis. 13 billion Ghana cedis. Of course, the respected and honorable majority leader, the Honorable Mahama Ayarga, MP for Boko Central, in his usual very exciting and classic way of debating, raised issues about my mathematical skills and my understanding of mathematics. And as he joked about it, he went to primary school in Boko, and that his mathematics in Boko tells him that I was wrong. And of course, I said to him that I went to primary school, Fufuso Primary School in Savannah region. He had the opportunity to go to Harvard. I went to KUST. But I told him that I think I'm on terra firma, I'm on firm grounds, because I've crossed my T's, I've dotted my I's. And I'm certain that the amount of money the government of Ghana is programmed to buy these aircraft, when you put it together, is 1.2 billion United States dollars. So we went through it with the Minority Chief Whip, Honorable Anodompre, joining a debate. And eventually, the majority leader conceded that the amount of money the government of Ghana is programmed to purchase these aircraft stands at 1.2 billion United States dollars, some 13 plus billion Ghana cedis. Now, of course, I think what he got a bit mixed up was the fact that this is a 4-year planned expenditure, which is that they are going to spend 2026 2.6 billion, 2027 3.5 billion, 2028 3.3 billion, 2029 3.5 billion. And if you put it all together, it comes to 13.1 billion Ghana cedis, 1.2 billion United States dollars. So that was conclusively and explicitly settled on the floor.
But that's over 4 years, as you say.
Yes.
But does the budget, if you approve this budget, if Parliament approves this budget, are they approving expenditure for years ahead? Well, is it not an Appropriation Act limited to 2026 financial year?
It is indeed, but it's a commitment the government is making. And if it's a commitment the government is making, and in the course of 2026, if they go through the procurement processes, and the procurement processes were to bind the government of Ghana, and if it was to be brought to Parliament, and Parliament approved of it, because government is in a continuum, successive government will inherit that obligation. And therefore, each of these years, whichever government will be in office, it will be like servicing the national debt of the country. The government will be under obligation to service this commitment, which the government of Ghana is making.
But somebody told me to ask you that MPP were doing the same thing. MPP were trying to buy a presidential jet.
Well, that's a third issue. That's a third issue, which is why I said on the floor of Parliament, there were 3 fundamental issues. The first issue was the scope. The second issue was a contention about the amount of money involved. Then the third issue was whether or not the timing was right, whether or not the scope of the procurement is welcomed, whether or not the amount of money programmed is value for money. And so, for example, somebody asked the question, why buy 2 presidential jets at the same time? Yeah. You have a medium-range presidential jet today, which is fit for purpose, the Falcon. Why not buy 1 long-range presidential jet in addition to what we already have? Why buy 2? Then there's the other question. Of course, the retooling of the Ghana Air Force, nobody can quarrel with that. The purchases of helicopters and the rest are almost welcome, and I think that we should encourage it. And then, of course, the question somebody asks again is, if you are spending $1.2 billion, for example, the IMF program we are under today, which is been in existence for at least about 2 years now, which is going to expire May 2026. The amount of money which the government of Ghana is gone in for to borrow is 3 billion United States dollars. So if you go to IMF and you go and ask for 3 billion United States dollars, then somebody will ask the question, will you spend 1.2 billion United States dollars on these kinds of expenditure? I mean, these are questions, legitimate questions that I believe that people are asking. And of course, there are also questions about the contemporary challenges of our time. I mean, teacher arrears are not paid, nurses arrears are not being paid, farmers have harvested, maize is not being bought, rice, we are told that 1 million metric tons of rice is going waste at the value of 5 billion Ghana cedis. So they are, look, let's be clear, Paul, that we should provide the needed logistics for the president of our country, whichever president, whether it's President Mahama or whichever president tomorrow, to be able to discharge their constitutional duty and be able to do their work in the interest of our country. I believe that that is something that all of us should support, that the president should be tooled, reasonably tooled, to be able to conduct his duties effectively. But in so saying, or that said, the other fundamental and legitimate question is also, should we spend this amount of money, 1.2 billion United States dollars, and should we be buying 2 presidential jets at the same time? So this is what happened on the floor of Parliament yesterday. Yeah,
what about the question about the MPP's ambition to do the same thing in 2024 or 23 or something like that? Well, that which the supporters of Okudzeto Ablakwa said he successfully fought it away.
Well, I've seen the budgets of the party, of the Akufo-Addo administration. I don't know of any occasion or time when such an intention was expressed or such an indication was given. I know, of course, my good friend, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, is on record to have vowed that if any government attempted to purchase a presidential jet, he will resign from that government, he will stage a one-man demonstration. Those things have happened in the past. But I'm not here to, you said this, I'm saying that. I think that government can take a second look at this. Yes, it is important that we provide the necessary logistics for the president to function. There's no two ways about that. And a president in a modern world is a global leader. He needs to travel across the world. So the president requires reasonable facilities to be able to discharge his duties. But as I say, must it be 1.2 billion United States dollars? Must it be 13 billion Ghana cedis today, in today's Ghana? Must we buy 2 presidential jets at the same time, at a go? Well, these are questions that I believe your viewers and Ghanaians in general, we all have to interrogate. And at the risk of sounding populist, and I don't want to sound populist, we have some concrete issues to deal with in our country today. I mean, you have issues of health care, lack of beds in hospitals. You have nurses who are not being recruited, teachers who are not being recruited, arrears are not being paid. The treasury of our country is not fit for purpose to be able to discharge the responsibilities of government by providing goods and services to the people and so on. And then the budget itself, the total amount of money the budget anticipates to spend for 2026, a whooping 2.682 billion 2.68 billion Ghana cedis for 2026 alone is programmed for this singular procurement effort the government is going to be involved in. So these are legitimate questions that I believe that Ghanaians are asking.
That's interesting. Well, Mahama Ayarida said at the end of the debate that government can find the money. Did you hear that? What do he mean by that?
Well, but it's always a question of prioritization. I mean, government can always find money to do all sorts of things. But the question that I believe the majority leader should answer and government should answer is that the best way of spending our money? I mean, that government can find the money. Of course, government can find the money. But in any event, in all humility and modesty, and with the greatest of respect to the majority leader, those monies are not the majority leader's money. It's not the president's money. These are taxpayers' money. These are taxes that Ghanaians pay, all of us pay. So should we use this amount of money out of the public exchequer, the taxpayers' money, to fund this kind of procurement, to engage in this kind of expenditure? That, I believe, remains a fundamental question for the government to answer.
So you think, in the context of the minority, that they should drop one plane and drop one helicopter? What if they ask you to advise them? What should they do?
No, I'm not getting into specifics, but I just think that the minority thinks that the amount of money involved in our current circumstances is colossal. It's huge. And the mechanism of prioritization is one that has to be looked at again, whilst conceding and doing so forcefully that, in principle, we have no difficulty in supporting any effort to equip the government generally and the president in particular. And by the president, I mean any president, to discharge his or her duties as president of our country. But we have difficulties. We have major difficulty with the amount of money involved and the scope of the procurement. So government should take a second look at that.
What do you mean by scope of the procurement?
2 presidential jets at a go, 4 helicopters. I'm not too sure that is so much of a problem. But 2 presidential jets at a go, government should take a second look at it. Spending 13 billion Ghana cedis within 4 years on jets, government should look at it again. Spending 2.6 billion Ghana cedis just next year. In the course of next year, government is spending 2.6 billion Ghana cedis on the procurement of jets. Government should look at it again.
Let's talk that President Mahama will not have the benefits of these planes. if his announcement that he's not running for a third term is anything to go by. He's leaving in 2020. He does not have the benefits of these planes. So why is the minority concerned as if he's looking for comfort for himself? He's not.
Well, it's not a question of comfort. It's certainly not a question of comfort. It's a question of judgment and decision making. And whatever judgment or decision is made has far-reaching implications and consequences on the welfare of today's generation and tomorrow's generation. And so if, for example, the government today were to say that we will spend all the taxes or all the revenue of the government of Ghana on a particular item, which will not inure to the public interest today, tomorrow, and in the future, we should have issues with it. And that is exactly what the minority, that is exactly the position of the minority, that this line item and this intended expenditure is one that we believe in the current circumstances of our country should be looked at carefully. And anywhere in the world, Paul, even the richest nation in the world, of the world, the United States of America, I'm not sure America will go out there to buy 2 presidential jets for their president at a go.
No, they have one big Air Force One. Which
whatever it is, I'm saying, if the government of America intended that they will equip their president to be able to travel around the world, I'm not sure they will order 2 presidential jets for President Trump or any other American president at a go. So to make a decision or to make a judgment call to purchase 2 presidential jets at a go, that obviously is something that requires further examination.
But what are people saying? Let's take the text message. I'll come back and ask Abu, what will the minority do about it? Will they vote against it? If they do, they don't have numbers. Will they walk out on it? That will still get the thing being passed. What can they do for the people of Ghana? What are people saying, Anziba?
Thank you very much, Paul. Coming from Eli Obama, he says, "Good evening, Paul. Yesterday's Parliament's proceedings in which Honorable Abu Jinapor, Honorable Amin Anta, Honorable Dr. Kabir Rutia, Honorable Anodompre, and all the minority members of Parliament participated filled me with great pride to be a part of the New Patriotic Party. Mr. Paul, kindly greet Honorable Abu Jinapor on my behalf and inform him of our steadfast commitment to supporting them at all times." Coming from Nuruddin Ubida, he says, "Great submission." John Aweri says, "Very intelligent MP." Connie says, "We will always stand by your side, Samuel Abu Jinapor." Vondi Jr. says, "Minister Jinapor is smart and articulate. He's clearly telling us that he's President Akufo-Addo's prodigy. Damongo Starboy, keep up the good works." And then lastly, coming from Philip, he says, "Mighty minority, you are beginning to impress me. Big up to all. Match them." Over to you, Paul.
I don't know why whenever Abu is on the show, Prince Derek Ajay will send in a text.
What is he doing?
He says that, "Tell Abu Jinapor to dot his I's and cross his T's and bring back the state lands." 12 acres of University of Ghana and Cantonment Aviation land. Prince Derek Ajay, hold your peace. Hold your peace.
He's quite obsessed about lands, I know that.
Ghanaian students abroad are asking you to come to their aid. They said that please remind Honorable Abu Jinapor that this government has not paid a dime towards stipend for Ghana students studying abroad in the UK. Even in the poorest state of things, the former government did make some payments, but for 10 months now, this government hasn't made any payments. Please, we are dying over here as Ghanaian students on scholarship. So I think that they are dealing with the point you make about priorities. Okay, let me see who else is sending me text. Samuel Brian Boabin says that we must not rush into anything that risks another scandal for the beloved country. President Mohammed's record is already tainted. The Airbus and the Embraer jet scandal are still fresh in our minds. He and his enablers cannot live in luxury. Okay, sorry, Brian. That's what I was talking about. About President Mohammed will not benefit from it. Okay. Another text message says that Abu has spoken brilliantly, and I'm very, very impressed with the minority and the way they have approached the budget. I watched Abna speak, Mohammed Amin Anta. But where is Kweku Kwati? Why didn't he speak? I'm not, Chief Whip is not here. I can ask him that. But is Kweku Kwati in the house, though?
The debate is not over.
Oh, it's not over?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, the debate is not over. They say the debate is not over.
Okay. You should look out for him.
So what is the objective of the minority on this matter?
Well, you know, Paul, the point is this. in the wisdom of the Ghanaian people, they configured this parliament. They constructed this parliament. And I think that we should accept the verdict of the people. I mean, in the 8th parliament, they literally gave us a hung parliament. Mm-hmm. In this 9th parliament, they've given the NDC a super majority. That's how the Ghanaian people structured it. But I've always maintained that the question is not just about the numbers. The question is about the quality of advocacy, the quality of presentation, as well as the competence of delivery in terms of discharging your responsibilities as a minority, which is why I said on the floor of the House yesterday that the MPP minority, we may be just a few of us, but clearly, if we are focused, as I believe we are working to be, we will be able to discharge our duties. The majority will always have their way because they have a super majority. There's absolutely no two ways about that. But what should never be allowed to happen is that the minority should have a say, and which is why we are bringing these issues to the fore and putting them before the Ghanaian people for them to make their own judgment. So what are we going to do? We cannot stop the budget. We can't vote against the budget, but we'll raise the issues and we will make sure that we put the matters out there. And I talked about priority. I mean, take for example, and it's always a question of priority. Every government decides what they use their money for. If we take the budget of 2026, for example, you will see that compensation for the office of the president under President Akufo-Addo in 2024, compensation for staff of the office of the president. In other words, the staff, the staff who work under the office of the president.
So that includes who? You can tell us.
That includes ministers, deputy ministers, presidential staffers.
At the office of the president.
They call it Office of Government Machinery.
Okay.
Some ministers, not all ministers, because you have ministers of state who are posted to the office of the president. Presidential staffers, chief of staff, presidential aide, presidential envoys. There's been a big debate in Ghana about size of government. And I believe that when the Ghanaian people talk about size of government, what they are concerned about is the incidence of the size of government on the public purse, on the public treasury, the amount of money that is used to maintain functionaries of the government. In 2024, the government of Ghana spent 326 million Ghana cedis on Office of Government Machinery or Office of the President, which is on compensation alone. Salaries. In 2025, the government of Ghana spent 540 million Ghana cedis, which is about 50% increment, 50% increase on the 2024 amount, which was used for compensation under the Office of Government Machinery. So there again, you have the issue of priorities. You take, for example, again, there's a big...
Does it mean they added more people or they just...
Well, you know, I have maintained that President Mohammed's government is bigger than President Akufo-Addo's government. I've made that point.
Yes.
And that's a fact.
You call them 100 ministers.
That's a fact. I mean, if you look at the substance of it, and if you look at the number of appointees he has, and the pegging, and the servicing of these appointees, in substance, he is running a bigger government. There's absolutely no two ways about that. Which is why you have this compensation ballooned. And as a matter of fact, compensation for Office of Government Machinery for the 2026 budget is gone further up. Because every day and again, you hear new appointments being made. A presidential envoy for Caribbean, presidential envoy for reparation, presidential. These are all ministers, in essence, when it comes to... Of course it is. I was deputy chief of staff, and I was in charge of human resource at the office of the president. With the greatest of respect, I ran the issues of budget and everything. And I'm telling you how it works. A senior presidential advisor is pegged at the level of an MP cabinet minister. So everything to do with their emoluments, their conditions of service, everything is equivalent to an MP cabinet minister.
A cabinet minister who is a member of parliament.
Who is a member of parliament.
Okay.
That is what it is. A presidential advisor simpliciter is pegged as a non-MP cabinet minister. And a presidential aide, so when you hear of a presidential aide is pegged at the level of deputy minister. So a president can appoint 60 ministers or 30 ministers and appoint 100 senior presidential advisors, presidential envoys, presidential aides, and you would think that government is a lean government. It's not.
Because what we know is minister. The word minister.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
he doesn't call them minister. He calls them something else.
But in essence, I mean, for example, this government is appointed 16 presidential staffers in charge of the 16 regions of Ghana. You are better off appointing 16 deputy ministers.
Deputy regional ministers.
Deputy regional ministers, because if you appoint a deputy regional minister, the deputy regional minister's equivalent is a presidential aide. But a presidential staffer is above. The emoluments and conditions of service is above a presidential aide, and therefore a deputy minister. So in terms of its incidence on the public purse, these 16 presidential staffers are drawing more from the national kitty than deputy ministers will draw. And that is the fact. And which is why you have the situation where the Akufo-Addo administration was spending 326 million on compensation, but in 2025, this government is spending 540 million. Of course, I cracked a joke on the floor of Parliament. That was a joke. I said the government is a Koshoko lean government because it's lean on the arms and limbs and the rest, but it's bloated on the stomach because it's lean on paper, but it's consuming a lot. You know, so these are the issues of priority, and of course, there's a lot of talk about the Ministry of Finance not spending, and when you look at the figures and you go to the budget itself at page 123, you will see that program expenditure was 207 billion Ghana cedis for the first 3 quarters of 2025, but actual expenditure was 175 billion Ghana cedis, a shortfall of 15%. And so you find the finance minister come to Parliament to say 100 billion for Kokon Ketinketi, 2 billion for this, 5 billion for them. People get excited. But when in the long run, the actual releases are low. Because Bank of Ghana, for example, is indicated in its policy report that there are 3 major threats to the national economy: revenue shortfalls, compensation, energy sector expenditure or payment. So when you have a situation where revenue is down, revenue is not doing well, projected expenditure do not take place because government is not raking in the revenue and government is not able to meet allocations with actuals. And then you have the private sector and the real sector suffering, and then you have the situation of unemployment exacerbated. Of course, I made also the point about this Formula 133, where we were told that we're going to have a 24-hour economy, and we're going to have, for every job, we're going to have 3 shifts from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., which is 8 hours. One person will take the job, then that person will retire. Then from 4 p.m. to midnight, another 8 hours, another person will take over that job. And then from midnight to 8 a.m., another 8 hours, the third person will take it, where it was described as Formula 133. That is not happening. And we have issues of unemployment. We have issues of healthcare. We have issues of education. We have issues of infrastructure. We have issues of cost of living. We have issues of cost of doing business. And so at every point in time, the question of prioritization will come up. And I know some viewers will be asking the question, oh, but MPP did this, MPP created that problem, MPP. Look, governments are voted into office to help bring about relief and provide solutions. And as they say, all politics and all governance is about the future. And His Excellency President Mahama himself reminded us in the course of the 2024 campaign when he was called upon to give his policies on Galamsey, where he said he's not responsible. And he was right. President Mahama was very right. He said President Akufo-Addo is in charge. He should deal with it. He should deal with Galamsey. So when we raise these issues, and I made that point on the floor of Parliament yesterday, it's not destructive. It's not intended to derail the efforts of the government, but it's intended to put forward constructive suggestions, alternatives, criticism, call it that way, for the betterment of our country. So these are the issues.
Very, very interesting. I'm still very interested. What did the NPP, NDC say about the 540 bill of the Office of the President? Have they said anything?
Well, they can't say anything.
You are quoting from the figures.
I'm quoting from the budget. These are facts. These are data.
Are these things obligatory for the finance minister to report to Parliament?
Well, the finance minister has to give, in every budget, the finance minister has to give a background but these are facts. Nobody can dispute. This is it's clear. I mean, 2024 compensation for Office of Government Machinery was 326 million Ghana cedis.
He didn't report on the 2024 one.
2025.
No, 2025. When he was reporting, he say that 2024, as they sometimes say, it was this and now it is this. Is he able to say that?
Well, the point is that the issue of the size of government is one that I have always maintained, that we should have a much more in-depth objective discussion or debate or interrogation of, because take for example, I hear people say United Kingdom has this number of population. They have 60 million people, twice the size of government, but they have 11 ministers. They're talking about Secretary of State.
Yes.
You see, they're talking about cabinet ministers. They're talking about Secretary of State, heads of departments. But beneath them, you have ministers of state. You have PPS, parliamentary private secretaries, who are equivalent, in our case, equivalent of deputy ministers, and so on and so. So we need to have an honest discussion of some of these matters.
America has fewer ministers than we do.
Well, they do, but in the American machinery, Paul, as you know, if you go to the Secretary of State's office, if you go to the Secretary of State, he has Under Secretary for Asia, and the Secretary for Middle East, and the Secretary for
deputy ministers.
They are all deputy ministers. We need a lean, and let me qualify, we need a truly lean but efficient government. Not a lean government on paper, 60 ministers, and yet presidential staffers are about 100. And the presidential staffers are equivalent of ministers and are drawing salaries, driving vehicles, drawing fuel, taking allowances, the same as ministers would take. Then as we say in Ghana, did we go or we came?
Even if when they travel the same thing?
The same thing. It's the same thing. A lot of money. It's the same thing. There's the same thing. And I raised this issue about 6 months ago. Nobody's been able to challenge it because that is a fact. But I cite this again just to answer your question about prioritization. I think there is a big issue of prioritization as we speak. I mean, we have very concrete issues. The ISA, the Institute of Statistical and the one at Legon. Yes, ISA. They've come out with a very copious and comprehensive analysis of the budget, and they've raised a lot of issues. I think these are matters that we should pay particular attention to, where they are talking about weak growth outlook, major structural risk, and so on and so forth. You have the Ghana Union of Traders Association, who are saying that VAT is moved from 4% to 20% overnight. These are still matters which are going
and they're also drawing from the same budget?
The same budget, quoting from the same budget, and these are matters that are going to definitely affect the private sector and therefore affect unemployment. And in my view, unemployment continues to be the biggest issue in our country. So whatever we can do to ensure that we deal with unemployment, we have to do so. You have the Institute of Public Policy and Accountability talking about Ghana's macroeconomic recovery did not begin in 2025, and even projecting that momentum is not on the side of growth, because you have the first 2 quarters of this year, growth went up. The last 2 quarters of the year is slumped, and indeed, per the finance minister's own projection, 2026, we are going to grow lesser than we are growing today. So there are real fundamental issues which we have to put on the table. And I believe that the finance minister should broaden his consultations and look at some of these plans is put before Parliament, especially when it comes to the prioritization of expenditure, and we should be able to.
Let's take a short Galamsey break, and then we'll come back on the show. This is a Galamsey break. Just see this video.
Gold is the one holding Ghana now. And because of Galamsey Intina, we were 80 tons per year. After 135 tons. Additional, Bebre free Galamsey. So we must be prepared to sacrifice in the fight against Galamsey. Say production will come down. It means that exports will reduce. And then also the issue of employment. Because employment in the Enankodani Bebre, Galamsey. Into Okutia Galamsey, a lot of the young people who currently are surviving with Galamsey would also get unemployed. And those are 2 consequences.
If we don't fight for the Ghana that we want, we will not get the Ghana that we need. So if His Excellency the President, and I know him a bit, he's a good, nice man. Whatever is holding him, I don't know. John Mama is a good, fine man. His brain is on point. His children are sweet people. I can't understand that he would think of other people's children to drink this water. I don't think the first lady in her sanity would ever sit down and approve of any of this when one of the people she loves the most has died. Why should the minister of lands be raving and ranting as if he's the only one on the street? Where are the people who said 1 week? Sam George, my brother, Iboyo. Okujato, where are you? We have to call you out. My own brother, Robson Dafiamo Paul, you cannot change your mouth. Please, it's not about your party. It is about Ghana. There should be something we should stand for. Sam George said the president can solve this in 1 week. By doing what? Declaring a state of emergency. And that's true. If any president were to declare a state of emergency, nobody goes there. So that's true. That will solve the problem. There's no question about that. That is true. And if you say these things and you come to government and say that, well, we are in government, as you just said, that the turbidity of the water is getting worse under your government, worse than when you said we should declare a state of emergency. At a certain turbidity level, you said declare a state of emergency. Turbidity level becomes worse. You now have the power. And you tell us that you don't want to declare a state of emergency, and we should listen to all this beautiful English being spoken by a lawyer, that we have done this, we have done you and this and that. All that is okay. It's a political question. The acting Chief Justice told the Bar Conference this week that the Galamsey has become worse under President Mahama. Felix Kwame Fosu, the government communication minister, says he needs evidence of that. He needs evidence of the fact that the situation has become worse. He said nobody has provided the evidence. He doesn't have the evidence. Kolebu Teaching Hospital is reporting things. He doesn't have the evidence. The turbidity of the water from Ghana Water Company, he doesn't have the evidence. These are the matters that is making the politics unbelievable. So this is the situation confronting the NDC. It is true that the state of emergency could stop Galamsey. It is true. The NDC were right in opposition, and those saying today are also right. Now this is the situation. NDC was in opposition, says that the thing is at 20%. You need to declare state of emergency, Mr. President. NDC comes to office at 60%, and they say, oh no, a state of emergency, it will come later. Galamsey, yes, own the politics. Council of State, Mr. President knows, everybody knows the kind of people who are there, that you find the people in there. The executive, they are there. Parliament, they are there. The only place where they are, in fact, even the media, some of them own the media. Yeah. Where's our hope? If Mr. President will not do it, it's okay. I'm tired. I've suffered under every government. You guys can come and punish me. It's okay. Somebody should die for something. Omani, my brother, he died for something. But his own people cannot even make what he died for even count. They are thinking that they've raised 3-something million or 6-something million using government donations and all that blah, blah, blah. To use that to mask and say, I'm thinking of your family. That's the small thinking that you people have. Nothing. Small thinking. You think you give people money and that is it. It's not just for what he wants. He wants you to transform this country. That's why Omani would have been a fine president. Please, we should stand for something. If you're an NDC man and this is happening, talk to your people. Stand out. You should have honor. You can't be an MP with reasonability, with mandate, with allegiance to the Constitution of Ghana. And you see this and keep quiet and come and have the audacity to come and maybe discuss the fact that the president never used the word state of emergency. Nonsense. Do you have a heart? Do you have a heart? Do you have a conscience?
I'll be asking the former minister about the MPP's race for flag bearership, which occurs on January 31st. Today, a big announcement came from the MPP headquarters about a meeting relating to proxy. That's my next and final question for him. But now, social media. Anziba, what are people saying?
Thank you very much, Paul. Coming from Abu Bakari, he says, Paul, please tell lawyer Samuel Abu-Jinapor that the NPP needs him on air to bring the party back to power. Akindi says, you're working very hard. We, the good people of Damongo, are very proud of you. Prince says, great presentation. Master Planner Jr. from Kintampo says, policy analyst Honorable Abu-Jinapor is always on top of issues. He is so versatile. Top-notch on economics, splendid on agriculture and natural resources, fantastic on security issues. We are so proud of him. May Allah bless and protect him abundantly. Tell him we all have eyes on Kintampo South agenda. Coded. Coming from Abdullahi Minister, he says, the quality might The quality minority are showing their prowess in the August House. We are so proud of them. Lastly, from Nana Owusu, he says, Abu Jinapor is very strong and a credible MP in the Ronaldo of our political discourse. I find it interesting that the majority leader tried his ultimate best to shut him down on the floor of Parliament, but Honorable Ayariga was rather exposed as insensitive to the cause of their own anti-socialist stance against these baseless priorities. Over to you, Paul.
Wow, that's interesting. It's now 40 minutes at the top of the hour, 10 o'clock. I have noise makers are coming into the studio opposite the minister. The SADL speech day is Saturday, and they are here to make some noise. They didn't win the science quiz, but they're here to make some noise. The New Patriotic Party decided today that there will be no proxy voting on 31st of January. So you have to go to Damango and cast your vote yourself.
As I will. And I think what the party is trying to do is to ensure that there's absolutely no room for suspicion and to ensure that we have an election which is manifestly free, fair, and credible, but also seen as free, fair, and credible. And I think it's absolutely crucial. You will see that the MPP is making lots of effort to revive itself and to rebuild. The party has gone through some of the most difficult times you can think about. The 2024 election, we have to admit it was a very difficult election for the party. The party is still going through lots of soul searching. There's absolutely no two ways about that. We are not in the best of position now, but the measures which have been put in place so far, I think respectfully, have helped a great deal. One is the early Congress. That is turned out to be a very wise decision the party took. The various amendments which were effected at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium, I think are also very good steps. Of course, Paul, you know, political party business and politics is up and down. Today you are down, tomorrow you are up. 2016, the NDC lost an election in a very painful way. A certain president lost. They lost by 1 million votes. They lost so many seats. We've had a worse situation on our hands. We cannot be proud of that. We cannot pretend that all is well. We have to accept that we have a difficulty and we're in a difficult situation. But I believe that by the grace of Almighty God, the MPP will rebuild, the MPP will revive itself, there will be a revival of the MPP under God, the MPP will bounce back stronger, and the MPP will win again by the grace of God. There's absolutely no two ways about that. And the measures we are putting in place, particularly the credible manner in which this January 31st election is being constructed and conducted, will all help for whoever wins, for the party to rally behind the person for the crucial election of 2028.
Who's going to win? Will Dr. Bawumia win? Will Kennedy Japan win? Will Brian Achampong win? Will it be Kwabena Japan or Saya Oduchu? Who's going to win?
Well, I'm very clear in my mind. I'm very, very clear in my mind. You know, in the 2024 election, I supported Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. And I had very good reason to support him. It's not as if my support is so consequential or is going to be a casting vote. No, but as a member of the party, I have to have a view of how or the direction the party should go. I supported Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. I've listened carefully. Each one of the presidential candidates are people I know very well at a personal level, and I've listened to all of them closely. I've not been convinced as to why we should change Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. I don't see it. I don't have any credible and compelling reason why we should change Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. And so my support for him for the 2028 election is total, it's unflinching, and
but will he win?
I will get to that. So my support for him is total, and it's for good reason. Look, he's well marketed, he's formidable, he's credible, and he's somebody you cannot associate with anything of corruption or of incompetence or of this or of that. And I believe that if we present him again for 2028 and we rally behind him, I believe he has a great, strong chance of winning the 2028 elections. I'm convinced that the party will support him come January 31st. And I'm convinced that the party will elect him because the party wants to win. The party wants to win 2028 elections. It's not for nothing that the NDC repeated President Mills over and over again and got him to win, because they believe that President Mills stood the best chance of delivering victory for the NDC. And it's not for nothing that the MPP stood by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo over and over again, because at every particular point in time the MPP believed that President Akufo-Addo was a man who could deliver victory for the MPP. He did deliver victory for the MPP. It's not, again, for nothing that the NDC stood by President Mahama, because they knew that President Mahama was the most formidable person and the best person who could deliver victory for them. And he's delivered victory for them on 2 occasions. And I'm convinced, and I think that's a sentiment within the party, that Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia is the man who is most formidable, who is most marketed, who is the strong candidate, has a national appeal. We've taken him once, and if we take him again and we rally behind him in 2028, I believe that by the grace of Almighty God, the Ghanaian people will have favor with us and elect him as president of Ghana come 2029.
That's a very powerful campaign speech for Alhaji Mahamudu Bawumia. You were close to Mrs. Rawlings, weren't you, when you were deputy chief of staff?
Oh, yes. I've not just Mrs. Rawlings. I mean, I was very privileged and honored to have known President Rawlings at the personal and close level. As deputy chief of staff, I had the privilege of engaging him on a couple of issues, and in the end, developed some personal relation with him. And I say privilege because, I mean, he was a very deep man and highly respected and with a lot of experience, and I had the benefit of tapping into that greatly. Yeah, Mrs. Rawlings, not so close, but always a mother figure. And if you met him, and it was very warm. She was a very warm woman, and I like particularly her sense of discipline as well. I mean, you could just see an air of discipline around her. But even more importantly is my colleague in Parliament, Dr. Rawlings, who is a very good friend of mine. And Mrs. Rawlings' passing is such a big blow to all of us, and we express our deepest condolences to the family. On November 28th, I believe we will all rally, the nation will rally behind them to give a befitting farewell. You know, but I'll tell you just a little story that you know, when I was in junior high school, my grandfather, I used to live with my grandfather in Damango. And my grandfather was big MPP, strong MPP man. But my grandmother was NDC, and she was a member of 31st December. And for her to attend meetings will mean that she will incur the wrath of my grandfather. But she will put a beret in her, what they call this paint container, you know, the one that they, so she will put a beret in it, cover it up, and go for her 31st December women's meeting.
I see. And when she gets out, she wears
it. Then she wears it. It's always a story I changed, but it tells you the power of Mrs. Rawlings' organization.
Yes.
Her grassroots organization.
Yes, it was very powerful.
It was very deep. It was very deep indeed.
Okay, Minister, we'll leave it here. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we're going to Adisadel College. No, I didn't. I didn't go to school there. Oh. I went to the better Adisadel.
Oh, which one is that one?
Oh, you shouldn't ask me. No.
Which one is that?
The much better Adisadel.
Oh, which one is that?
It's near the University of Ghana.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Achimota?
No.
Oh, really?
Minister,
I'm lost. Oh, Presec. You went to Presec.
Yeah, that one. 7 times winners of the National Science and Maths.
Oh, okay.
7 times.
But we are all here, actually.
Yeah, we're all here. We're all here.
Yeah. I came from Fufusu.
No, you went to KNUST.
No. You are talking secondary school.
When you argue with Ayariga, I heard somebody say that, but Abu studied physics.
I did.
And Ayariga studied law.
Yes.
And he says that he knows more mathematics than Abu.
And I did quantum mechanics.
Oh, you did?
Of course I did.
Let's all go and learn quantum mechanics after the break. We'll be right back. Thank you very much, Minister. We'll be right back after the break.
This is my secret. Give us P capsules. Pema, I want to go from now on to me to my ding one pen. Give us P capsules. Obedu as a mama. Oh no, enemy lawyer.
And to lawyer no na show bottom. Are you from? They na ban upon permission ba bet siamo a ese niji.
Bosano.
No. Nige nefi waka wo. The friend give us co capsules. Say yes is yare na wo so. Ko di wo ni pedwem wani na wo posa amaman entimi ma wunja wo nan yi. Unum give us co capsules a. Obey free.
Lawyer.
Give us co capsules.
And give us P capsules.
Hey, and give us free.
Obey Chinasuma.
And men what if you do what you do cronkwan efa. Give us core capsules. A pain for a batter one more menu for an inquada when if you do me nunca.
Wabed doom, time aso. Hey, J. Watch it, na learning. Missy, watch and learn. Makwema besisia. Abozing. I can say no ya konati and the more drink woman. Hey. But I didn't mean. Oh, sorry. She knew her old days. Eji, Dabio, baby womb. Ready? Hey, baby womb. Eji, I'll cause some discomfort. Sorry, well, uncle, where would I die? Why your funeral?
Say a pessary insecticide GB at a user. For pharmacy in a shop, Biam. Namum say a pharmacy, supermarket, and a shop ra. Now a pedudu to a cotonwa. On a Royal Dutch and our Aerofield Trading. Effie spray with Daimwa. Change.
In my line of work, a confident smile is everything. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste keeps me on top of my game and ensures my smile is always radiant and bright.
With the tiring nature of my job, we spend several hours under the scorching sun. To keep our teeth white and our breath fresh all the time, we use none other than Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. You're on a Kessie and in a kit one.
Samayo Kendini, and who be here? Samacha Sapapadia to a mammy man for Kel Charcoal's natural ingredients, and a bomb is so by a man is swing, Nesansu Mama Hoto so a will beg you.
Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Choose Kel Charcoal Toothpaste for anti-cavity, whiter teeth, and fresher breath all day. Available in 80 gram and 150 gram. Grab yours today.
Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Kwame and his uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, Mommy.
The second coming. Into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again?
Now I understand the whole delay. Troll from Kaswa, dear. Why wouldn't he be late? Or be late?
Of course.
Star 712 hash, star 712 hash. You go be the luckiest. Copy from Georgia be luckiest. From not the block, she be luckiest. Me and you go be luckiest. No matter what you're luckiest. Everybody go be the luckiest.
That's Kwame.
Send your God apple boom. If you put it away, so would the coming of the son of man be. Is that his car?
Ha! Even now, your shadow the way designer.
I use my own mouth to reject him. Oh, this is my mouth. Look at that.
Kwame, my son. Now, tell me the truth. How did this all happen?
Oh, mommy, a simple dilation. Mr. Good Luck no me well.
Eh?
Yeah, man.
Easy kwa. Or dial star 712 hash.
The devil is a liar.
He picked his ticket and entered his lucky 5-digit number.
I'm his birthday.
Oh, how romantic.
And he followed the prompts. Yes. And then boom, confirmation test.
One quick, pick 5 numbers for me, okay? I'm feeling like 7.
Dial star 712 hash. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompts and let destiny handle the
You see how they love you now?
Yo, baby, I'll find me Pemasimo. Before December, may release a motivational album. Patapa, my super.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
Gideon and Bernard are here with me to talk about Adisadele's 2001 year group. So Gideon, let's start with you. So what's the function? When is it happening? Is it a speech day, the annual speech day that
yes, the 116th.
Oh, that's 116th for Adisadele.
Yes, we are about the second oldest school in Ghana.
Okay.
Okay.
So what's the plan?
So the plan is year group, 25 years after finishing school, you would get your turn to host the speech day together with the school authorities and board of governors and deliver a legacy project. So we'll be on in March 2026 to present and deliver our legacy project, which is actually a remodeling of the Dury Gymnasium.
A remodeling of what?
Dury. So the spelling is a British name, D-R-U-R-Y, Gymnasium, named after a famous former headmaster of the school.
Is that a photograph of what the gym will look like?
Yes, after completion, yes.
So the project then, to you, Ben, the project is the gym. That's the main project.
Yes. So
it's in the school.
It's in the school. We currently have a structure which it's been there since the 1960s. It was donated by the Chinese embassy as an indoor basketball court and a gymnasium. Now, what we are trying to do is to remodel it into a new sports hall. And we should be able to have sporting activities such as basketball, handball, badminton, table tennis, anything that can be done in the sports hall, we should be able to. So what we are hoping to do is that by the 14th of March, early morning of the speech day, we would happily hand over this project to Adisadele as our...
Between now and March?
Between now and March. The construction is already ongoing.
Okay.
The construction is ongoing. We are hoping that by latest mid-February, we would have some test games in there. And
then you must have your money already.
We do, but of course, we need more.
How much were Old Boys asked to contribute?
So this is a 2001 legacy project. So each member of